Welcome back to the Berg Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. With me today is Ford.
Hey, how's it going?
And Dan.
Hey, everybody.
And this is going to be a weird one for us because we're just trying something new, right? We're just trying something a little bit different. You guys follow Alex on LinkedIn? Alex
Yes, Horton.
Horton.
Yeah.
Alex Horton. Yeah.
I would have to subscribe more to social media to do so. I may or may not. I don't know.
It's my only social media, so I do have to. I see that from time to time.
You see that from time.
Yes.
Alex and I stay in contact. We used Alex years ago when he was helping us through BuildWit, through some of that stuff, and actually he helped us get the original like template for editing and stuff like that set up for podcasting. And
I think our intro music was him, right?
oh yeah,
It
you
was,
know what?
yeah.
It might have been, yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, it was him or it was
He
Clay
or
because they
Clay.
wrote
Clay.
around and then like they came up with it.
Right.
And like it was funny. We laugh about it because what they heard or what my safe station for taking
Yeah.
people in my vehicle versus what I listened to might have a little bit of
Yeah.
contrast to it.
Your
Yeah.
our opening theme music was inspired by Clay spending like 5 hours in the car with Ford listening to the Jimmy Buffett station on Sirius.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's not a bad jingle, right?
No,
I
no.
like it. It's fitting.
It's just like they felt that was like
That
That was
yeah.
Ford all the time.
yeah. They didn't read the rest of the little dots on the bottom of the SXM or whatever it's called, and they didn't
Yeah.
realize that there was a
multiple tabs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not the only station you
Yeah,
listen to.
there's a lot of variation
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Anyways, where I started to go with that. So, Alex and I have stayed in touch, and I follow him on LinkedIn, and he's got his own thing going on now. Podcast advisor, consultant, something of that nature. But he actually had a post up recently that was like very timely because we have kind of been talking for a while loosely about the idea of like, should we videotape these things, right? And should we?
Well, people ask us, like, do you videotape it? And we're like, no, it's.
Right. Or, no, that's silly. Who wants to see us?
Yeah, no, that'd be
I'm
ridiculous.
surprised people want to hear us, let alone see us.
It's silly enough that they listen to us, but that they actually would want to see us too is interesting for sure. But he had something up the other day, and he was going over a couple points like, hey, like, here's why you might want to consider having people or having your podcast or your YouTube shorts or whatever it is videotaped. And I thought it was interesting. And so here we are, right? We actually had this kind of tentatively planned before I even saw his post, but we're gonna try.
There was.
Adding
We're
some
trying
video.
it, but if the record buttons are hit, we might not sure if the video will come out, but we're taping this. So just for people that are hearing this, we are taping this for video. So whether you see it or not is a different story, but we're trying to do
Yeah.
it.
I appreciate the
exactly.
heads up,
So-
by the way, guys. That
Yeah.
you gave me a good 30 seconds notice that we were gonna video that. I walked in and I was like, "Are we videoing this?"
You walked in and I'm setting up
What
cameras.
do you think?
Yeah.
Like hair and makeup was supposed to be ahead of time
I
or what?
don't, well, I don't know. I mean, Ford's got his haircut.
Yeah.
I should have known something was up.
Yeah. Well, and this is like, like every time you try something new, you kind of like visualize in your head what you think it's going to look like, right? And then when you see pictures of yourself doing it, Ford and I were just talking about this. It doesn't
No, it's
usually
not gonna
look
be-
the way you thought it was going to in your head.
So I
And-
was, fortunately, yesterday I was able to take a day and I was with the girls and I went skiing. And I always say that, like, in my head, I don't even need a picture, but in my head, I don't look like how everybody says I look. I am surprisingly capable at skiing. And they all say I look like you're supposed to look skiing, but in my head, I feel like there was no like Goofy cartoon where he like drove like a crazy person, and that's how I feel like it would look. I would look out of control because of how fast I ski.
Yeah.
But everybody says it's not, and that's how I feel this is. But in reverse, we're going to feel like that went pretty well. We looked good, and then we're going to look at it and be like, "Oh my god!"
It will never see the light of day.
I think we all need to go on a diet. There needs to be a new fitness challenge because this camera's definitely at the wrong angle. Whatever angle it is.
we got some like up angles and some belly shots, and yeah, it's gonna be. Right. Like, Ford said, he's like, all dark on dark, right?
Yeah.
Like it like
Well,
we're
and
just trying
Ford
to
on
figure it out.
camera on purpose. This is of the most unlikely things you could have told me would happen at Berg Construction. Ford electing to video himself. I don't know that we can do anything that's going to shock me more than that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He's we're trying something new.
A Renaissance man.
Trying
over there.
something new. And
Got to adapt to the times, I guess they say.
there we go.
They
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. And it does feel like the more of these things. I don't watch any podcasts personally. I listen to a number of podcasts, but I don't watch any. But it does feel like it's like the thing right now.
Everything's
right?
going to video, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the
Yeah.
reality of it, that there is no, pictures, used to say 1,000 words or whatever it was and yada, yada. But like a regular picture on any kind of marketing thing just doesn't do it. I mean, like everything's gone to it has to have action in it of some sort.
You know
There's
what I
probably go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, you know what I remember from the first thing that we did video when Bill Wood came out, and I think it was Shell, and I was at one of the landfill jobs.
Is that how you say it? Shell?
Is that not?
I always called him Chell.
I don't know. All right. Well,
First time I
regardless-
didn't know what to
Anyways.
do because that was the spelling
All
I
right,
was
well,
thrown
regardless.
off.
So
I
if
waited
he
for
wants
him
to-
to say his
Because
name.
it's a K, right? KJ. KJELL. Or,
So long ago.
anyways, all right, sorry.
if he happens to see the podcast, or
He
hear
correct
it,
us.
Maybe he can
could
comment.
and let us know how we're supposed to refer to him.
And
In any
how-
case,
were we
someone
messing
from
it
Bill
up?
Witt was putting like the mic on me.
Yeah.
And they put it into my chest. The like little pin. It didn't hit it hit my shirt, but also like poked me in the chest. But I didn't comment because the camera was on. Like they were like, it was just a test of the camera,
Yeah.
but I just didn't want to say anything. So
What is
was
that
my-
red spot on your shirt?
so I
you
just
bleed
let him
on camera?
stab
Did
me
you start bleeding?
so that I could.
Is
I
that-
don't know. I mean, you know, I don't know.
You get Drew Blood to
You were
do
wearing
this.
a,
You're really
wearing a
going
black
for it.
polo shirt. No one's
So
going to know.
no one's going to know anyway.
Yeah.
So, but all right. So we're just trying to talk about doing something different, how things change, and you know maybe
Yeah.
this will be effective. I saw. Did you see Heath commented? I noticed it yesterday. Heath commented that he's been like binging our podcast, which is even
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
shocking.
Yeah.
Right.
He,
I really am looking forward to him as a guest from that
He was-
sugary Southern like voice and his
Oh.
like sayings. Like
he was so quick to respond, too.
Yeah.
I like,
it's like 6 a.m.
you know, like 2 hours before that email, you and I had talked to him like, hey, maybe we should find some more guests, right? Let's bring some people in. Heath sends an email. Got to let you know, been listening to the podcast. You guys are doing great. You know, he's very complimentary in true Southern gentleman style. Like he's probably got lots of notes for us, but very complimentary in the email. And
Multiple colored pens.
then I respond, I'm like, thanks. We should get you on as a guest sometime. And immediately like, absolutely. You know,
Well,
he's in. I'm like, that's
if
great.
he's binging and
Yeah.
if the video comes up, Heath, in honor of you, I have cowboy boots on, so I don't have any shoelaces that are
Yeah.
untied.
That's good.
Now that's a little inside
nice.
thing for
Little
Heath, but
inside
I'm
for
just
Heath.
saying that yeah, I know how that matters. So I was just
Sweet, yes, trying something new. Well,
Yeah.
I think it's new, right?
yes.
I don't
Many years ago.
Okay,
Many years ago
I don't
when
think I've seen
rode
you wear
horses.
the cowboy boots before. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's shy. You know what? Oh my
That's-
gosh.
Oh man, we are all
Yeah.
over new
Oh my
and old
gosh.
things.
Mm.
Listen.
Something
Are you a
new,
horse
something
rider?
old, something
No.
No, okay.
I mean, I have. So this is a.
Yeah.
I think this is a funny story. So my grandfather had a horse farm in Kentucky after he retired. And I
Yeah.
went there a few times as a kid. I either did ride a horse well enough to jump over a fence, or I rode a horse and my dad was on the horse and my dad had the horse jump the fence because my dad could ride horses.
Okay.
I find it hard to believe I was good enough that I could jump a fence with a horse, knowing
Sure.
that I only rode them a few times.
Right.
But I can't in my memory, I can't straighten out which is true. My dad
Yeah.
passed away, so I can't ask him. But I do not. But Erin, when I get to tell Erin later that Ford rode horses, Ford, you will be hearing from Erin because she has a specific thing about guys that are Ford and my size riding horses.
Mm.
Because
hence why I said a while ago.
all right, 'cause she
So
says
that-
we would need special horses. Like if
A
we go,
mule, maybe a
Yeah.
Clydesdale.
yeah, we can't use a regular horse. She
Okay.
said, and this is backed by when I was away, and we did this thing and we rode horses. And they in Spanish I could translate well enough. They did say like you're gonna have to bring the big horse.
Bring the big horse.
It was Spanish, but I was able to translate. And Erin was like, "What did they say?" And I was like, "They just said they better bring a big
Okay.
horse."
Well, the
least
type of
16
riding
hands.
you're talking about, usually you don't wear cowboy boots for.
No, that's just
Yeah.
walking. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
you
walking
got, you
horse.
got like English riding.
All
Right?
right,
If
sure.
you're jumping fences and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I don't think you're talking about jumping fences.
No, we were
Yeah.
doing Western style, midnight
Yes,
rides,
okay.
all that kind of
Okay,
stuff,
yeah.
barrel racing, that
Ford
kind of
Yes,
stuff.
barrel. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
barrel
look
racing.
at-
We haven't talked about this.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't know we
Ford,
had this
is
this childhood connection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, your family had the horses up on the hill.
yeah, yep.
And,
So
you probably did it as well for years.
yeah, I grew up in Southern California, and we lived like on the edge of the desert, basically the high desert, and so we had little space, couple horses. But yeah, I would when I was a kid, I would go at least once, twice a week to place, and like we'd do like a little barrel racing and little
this is
yeah.
too much.
It was fun.
I mean, outside
I
of
was young.
Erin's love of Yellowstone, I really
Sure.
barrel racing. All I know is just to
Yeah.
stay away from like chicks that barrel race. That's
Okay.
Yellowstone. That's what they say. That's all I got.
Stay
for
away
this.
from chicks that
At
barrel.
one
race.
point, we
Mm.
owned a hot barrel racer.
I-
That
I
went
don't know-
bad.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
for it exactly?
Hey,
Can you
clarification.
expound just a clarification
yes.
so that nobody misunderstands?
It has nothing to do with the women who barrel race.
It has nothing to do with an attractive woman
Unfortunately,
that somehow you owned.
the comments just went in that row, but
The sequence here
Yeah,
might
sequence
lead you to
'cause I'm
believe
confused.
that.
yes,
yeah.
yes, no, a horse that it's kind of like a racing horse that gets just out of their mind after so they can't do what they were trained to do,
Mm.
and so they called them like basically they were just over the top. And so we used to go to this place called New Holland Sales Stables,
Oh,
where
yeah.
they just sold horses. And one time we bought one, and then like it wouldn't come out of the trailer, and like it was just it had a lot of I don't think horses have it, but it had a lot of mental issues
Mhm. Yeah.
that we were not able
Yeah.
to
Do
deal
they-
with, and so we had to send it back to the auction and hope that the next owner had a little bit better luck.
Did Tom ride horses?
Oh yeah, he had a Tennessee Walker. He had a couple
This
different
is-
types.
Jeez,
It's
these things that were like the podcast has brought out.
hard to make me speechless, but I'm speechless right now. Picturing like the entire Berg clan, right? Well, it wouldn't have been. I bet you at this time were Colton Becker around? Who was around at this point?
Yeah. Well, Luke rode, Colt rode. I'm trying. Let's see.
Because
We
like
had-
you could see Colt. I mean, you could see Luke,
Mhm.
right? I mean, Luke, that tall, lanky Luke. Luke could be on a horse, no problem. Colt,
Yeah.
I guess I could see.
Yeah, I
someone.
think by that time, like, I mean,
Colt-
I joke about it. The reason that I got out of it was once I got a thing that had engine and a key,
Yeah, that makes it. Yeah,
and
less
I didn't have to
interesting.
like go
Mhm.
feed it at 6 a.m. and like muck
Clean
out
up the
stalls.
and yeah,
Hmm.
It kind of lost some of the
yeah.
interest for me.
The non-glamorous side of
Yeah,
having horses.
You know what the
Yeah.
shocking thing about that is? He would have been trading the horse for a Volvo,
hey,
right? So it wasn't like this wasn't.
I
he
got a
didn't-
slow horse, but it
You
still had
got a-
wheels on it.
But yeah, it had more horses.
had more horses than its horses.
Not many.
Went from like 1 to 85. But
I'm
still,
telling you, you and Ben would have never been friends if you went to pick him up on a horse.
Who, Ben? My
Hornick.
buddy Ben?
Hornick.
He had a horse.
I know, but the whole remember, his story was
Right,
like
how
you
we
had the
got to know
car,
each
and
other.
then you
yeah.
got to go places.
I was the older
Yeah.
kid, so he
Yeah.
took advantage of me.
Yeah, he
by,
took advantage
getting
of it.
Gotcha.
They started a podcast over there at Berks.
I was thinking that actually
on video. Very
um,
nice set, very artistic.
Of course,
They did a really good job setting theirs up. Like really, yeah, nice backdrop. Is it Ben and his sister? No.
Yeah, him and Katie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know Katie, but that came up on LinkedIn or something as well. And
Yeah.
I think they did it like if I'm not wrong, didn't they record a bunch of episodes and then kind of release them?
It sounds like that because the way that they're coming out, but I haven't. He was so busy doing podcasts. I haven't talked to him in a while, so
Okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
how they. But it seems like just the way things are set up that
Yeah.
it was more of like they built a big cache of
Yeah.
them, and then now all of a sudden they're just popping them out as time goes on.
Yeah, which is interesting for me because that's not ever really been our approach, right? When we started, we probably recorded what 3 or 4.
Well, because Alex was
Because
editing them for us,
We
so
had to send them to Alex to get the
Yes.
editing done, but now we don't really like load them up. Like we maybe are like
maybe a little
two-
bit too much the other way.
Truth in advertising. Hey, tomorrow it goes up. Can you get one done today? Oh yeah, we'll be there. Don't worry
All right,
about
so-
it.
yeah.
So, you know, a quick funny story. So I guess it was last week. Last week, you or I were talking, and JD, we did the podcast, and
Yeah.
JD walks in my office and he says, "Oh, I just did it again. I talked about JD." He specifically said, "Don't
Don't
do
talk
it."
about JD.
Yeah, he said, first
Mhm.
rule about JD is don't talk about JD."
Mhm.
But he walks in, and I was trying to think of which one he was talking about until I realized he was talking about the one that we had recorded like 6 hours earlier, or whatever that math was.
Right,
We had just
yeah.
recorded it, but it was already up.
Yeah.
So I was like out of sync, and I was like, "It's funny you say this. I was just talking about you." And then I was like, "Wait a minute,
That's
that is what he's talking
that's
about."
what you're referencing.
So I failed again, JD. I apologize.
yeah, that's funny.
It's like drinking game. How many times does the word JD come up? If someone have some issues.
We're gonna have to put a dollar in a jar or something
Yeah,
like
put a
that.
dollar in a jar.
Yeah, we have a JD jar
A
instead of a
JD
swear jar. Yeah, yeah. I had something like in my head I wanted to say,
Oh, I
and it's so
apologize.
gone.
We'll just like take up some air. Tell you like, all right, I got it.
Yeah, we just gotta keep talking for a minute because it's coming back. We should take notes every once in a while.
We should have a plan for how we actually do this. Maybe.
There's no plan necessary. It works better.
Yeah, we
Just
were
live in
talking
chaos.
about new stuff. And we talking.
You were talking about the Hornings loaded up all of the things.
Yeah,
Yeah, but before
and
that,
then
Alex.
Before that, Alex.
Something to
yeah.
Alex.
I don't know.
Going back
We
on
don't
it.
normally
Yeah.
wander like this trying to get back.
No, I know.
We just keep going off the rails.
I just continue
We
us
just
off the
continue.
rails.
Yeah, we just continue. Yeah, Alex was talking about the idea of like why you should videotape, and I just found it interesting. Like and you mentioned, and I think you're right. Like when it comes to the way people engage with media types in general, social media, advertising, whatever it might be. People aren't looking necessarily for that like still picture anymore, right? Maybe it supplements, maybe it reinforces a message, etc. But video does seem to be like where our attention is drawn to as a consumer, and especially shorts, right? So like things that are 30 seconds long, under 90 seconds usually capture your attention. I am like testament to that. I don't know. I don't think ADHD is what it used to be. ADHD used to be like a kid like me who didn't sit still well in school, right? Now
That's the norm.
like if you can pay attention to something for more than 15 seconds, you're actually considered like a high functioning adult. So
Yeah,
I'm not going to like take us down like conspiracy theorists or like but I'll take them on my theory how this started.
Yeah.
And I will blame ESPN
Okay.
because ESPN started the whole thing where you didn't have to watch a whole game because you got the clips. So
you could just see the highlights. They
know,
give you like a
yes, you got the best of whatever you needed. Now it's changed to whatever it is now. I don't even know because I don't get to watch it very much, and now it's like a talk show the whole time. But in the old days, you went, if you wanted to watch the Phillies play, you sat down from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and watched a game.
Right. Yeah.
And then like when I was young, wasn't the age of watching that. You'd watch SportsCenter at 10 p.m. Not just did you see if anything cool happened in your game, but you saw it across the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched a full football game, and football is probably the one that I was the longest holdout of it in probably 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm in and out, back and forth. And with rewind on your TV now, like you can go back and find stuff.
I do love the on demand.
Or the YouTube. You'll find it somewhere.
Yeah.
Are you that way as well? That you don't watch something start to finish?
I don't watch a lot of things start to finish. I still will watch like a lacrosse game start to finish.
I was going to ask you about lacrosse.
Yeah, also it's like a college lacrosse game right now. College season has started. High school season, we're still in the off season / preseason. So yeah, I kind of like to watch.
Because I'm like it's game. Right. The weirdest thing is, and you say about when you put those two things together, the ADHD and then what he's talking about with which eventually became this idea that there was 13 games on your TV, and because your TV's big enough, that I would without question say that I have ADHD. Right. Like there's no question about that. I've managed. I don't. No one's ever diagnosed it. No one's ever looked at it. I learned to deal with it. But I do not like to do that. Like I am not susceptible to like the reels and the shorts thing. I have no interest in it. I don't want to watch 4 games at once. Okay. I do want to watch the whole game start to finish. Like
really?
Like you want to watch the ads too?
Well, I would have to pay for certain levels of TV to be able to fast forward through. So no, I'll walk away. But I'm saying like I don't want to watch. The only way I would watch the highlights condensed is if just out of necessity. Like I don't have time to watch something, so I'll do it. I'm not saying I won't, but like if I'm going to watch an Eagles game, I watch it from the beginning until through the third quarter when they completely fall apart. And then I watch the fourth quarter as they implode, really aggravated.
Okay.
Like, and I'll watch the whole thing to see it.
But just the Eagles?
No, I mean like anything, I'll watch if I have the time to watch a game, but I think it also plays to like my own, I was really bothered on Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, Monday. The girls were entered in tournaments and they were all playing like one after another, the tournament, because I had set up the teams for this small sided thing. They made it that they didn't overlap unless they made the final. So it only overlapped once or twice. But I was bothered that I had to like jump. You know what I mean? Like I want to just be able to sit there and focus on it. And I'd still much rather see something live. And Ford has talked about this. The NFL is a sport that was built for TV.
Sure.
Right. But I'd still rather see it in person if I could, and just be able to watch it. So it's something I think really weird that's happened personality wise. And, the thing that came to mind when you guys started talking was, like for me, it might be the picture of Dawkins absolutely crushing Algie Crumpler of the Falcons, or the old picture of Ben Narek just putting Gifford lights out. Like if you had like a cool, men's basement bar, like that's what you would put in there as those pictures. Will that stop? Like, is that going to change even that piece of it, that like the still picture won't be enough? Do you think? I mean,
yeah, well, I think of it as too, because, in the old days, if you went to an event, right, and you were, someone's gifted you tickets, you bought tickets, right? Like only you and that group got to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
You had the moment, the experience.
Right. You know, I remember, Michael Irvin getting carted out and people maybe not being appropriate at the Eagle Stadium, depending on how you talk to. But I was actually there for that, right? But the only people that actually saw that, because that wasn't on TV, was the 70 or 62,000 people that were sitting in that event.
Yeah. Interesting.
Now, with everybody's phones, even if it's not the actual broadcast, like there is nothing that doesn't
nothing
magically
gets
show up.
Everyone gets to witness it.
Yeah.
Everyone
Right.
gets to be part of it. Doesn't You're
Right.
not a part of a special club of people that actually
Yeah.
went to do
Yeah,
it. It's
for
like,
me,
oh,
that
I'll
makes
check it up
like,
later.
sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's some like it takes something away. You know what I mean? Like even at that tournament, everybody posted about what was going on, and Aaron and I posted nothing. Like I'm not gonna. I just don't need like it's not. If you wanted to be there, be there. You know what I mean? Like I don't, and I also just want to be there. You know what I mean? Like it amazes me when you see things going on, and the Super Bowl recently, and everybody is videoing. They're videoing this. What's going on? They paid $10,000 to sit in that seat, and they're looking through a 9-inch screen, videotaping so that they can. The sad part is, I think, so that they can post it, not so that they can look at it later. Because how much do you really look?
Not so they can remember.
You know what I mean? Like as many pictures as I have on my phone that I take of stuff, I only look at them if somebody says like, "Hey, do you have a picture of this?" Then I would be like, "Oh yeah," you know what I mean? I might have taken a picture of that.
Yeah.
But like, do you really like go back and look at it? Or, you know what I mean? And you're like missing life. Like I don't know if you're just busy videoing it, but I might lose us listeners by taking that approach. So I don't know.
Well, so I don't want to lose either of these things. I got two things. The one is I don't know if someone recently was talking about serving in an organization, and their role was the historian. And it wasn't a role that I personally was familiar with. I'm like the historian. Like what are you doing? And I think I need a historian, right? Because the historian, like I totally agree with what you're saying. I used to think that I had to like capture moments. I used to think that I had to like record what was happening, take pictures of it, put it on social media. And I was like, why am I doing this? Why, I'm looking at my screen trying to get the exact right shot and missing 80% of everything else that's happening. And so I stopped totally. I almost never post on social media. Sometimes I will like reshare something, or if someone tags me in something, I'll like whatever that is.
Try and untag.
No, I don't usually untag.
That's what I used to do.
I don't usually untag, but I usually will like that's what I have shared or whatever. But I do think that there is like a component of some of that where like you lose the chronological like history like of things happening, and like sometimes I'm like I don't want to do it, but I want to be able to look back at some of this stuff. I wish I had somebody like I wish I had a historian.
I'm totally supportive of that, but you had two things, so you got to do your second thing so you don't forget.
Second thing was like completely unrelated. We talked about this like 5 minutes ago at least, and I was curious if there's a word for what we're describing. So you said a picture used to be worth 1,000 words, but a video. And I'm like, is there something that describes that? What's a video worth if it's not 1,000 words? I'm sorry.
10,000 or something
maybe
like that.
1,000 pictures.
1,000 pictures, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, like we've already like we're way past that.
Well, I would jump back to it though. Like part of this whole thing is that, in the old days there was, we'll go back to sports. If you missed it, you waited to the next day to the newspaper. There was a defined way of getting information.
Yeah.
And we talk about it with what we're doing now with the shotgun approach, appropriate or not. But like maybe somebody does want to watch a podcast, not me. Maybe someone wants to listen to it. Maybe somebody wants the newsletter. Maybe somebody wants the blog post. Maybe somebody wants the there's so many, and there's not the defined way. Now at everybody, it's their own way of wanting to gather the information. So part of that is us putting it everywhere so that that person at least has an opportunity to see it, to hear it, to visualize it, whatever they want to do, because there's not those norms of what was.
Yeah.
Okay, you get it from here, the Paul Harvey effect, that kind of thing. And so that's kind of what this is that that's what's changed, is that you have to have content for across the board, because doing just one will limit either your team wanting to see it, how they want to get it,
the audience,
the audience.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
that's
Well, and it
part
even
of the process.
isolates them, right?
Right.
Ford, I mean, like realistically, like if we want to get this message out to all of our team, right? We want them to be able to, and I'm not saying this message, this podcast.
No, I understand,
I'm saying
yeah.
we want them to feel like they're sitting in a room with us and they had some sort of a discussion. They were part of a, like if you go back, like, you're sitting at a bar or at a table at a restaurant and you had a conversation, and we want them to be able to feel that, so they understand, where we're coming from and how we're trying to make decisions and how we're evaluating things. And then hopefully they give us feedback in any way they feel comfortable that then enables us to better make those decisions. But to do that, we have to step outside of our own comfort zones and say, okay, it's not going to be that, we get to do it the way we want. I mean, if I could do it like my perfect way, it would just be anytime I see you, I can have a conversation, interpersonal skills. It's going to be, I can see how you're reacting. I can try and manage the conversation to get my point across, and try and hear what you're saying. Ford might have a slightly different way. You might have a slightly different way. But what we got to realize, sort of to Ford's point, is we may have to do this 10 different ways now, so that everybody gets the opportunity to hear the message if they want to, and to engage back to us so that we can effectively lead, because it is really hard to do it if you don't understand what the people that are making this go, what they want and how they're feeling. So we need to do what we need to do to be able to engage. And that's vastly changed from the days of it's by having a corporate meeting once a year, or it's,
Right.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, and when you had 6 people, you did it over breakfast.
Yeah.
Right? We met here at the shop. Everyone went into the what was a little conference room downstairs. Now it's offices. But
When we first moved into this
Yeah.
building, there's a corner of the sidewalk on like the front northwest corner of the sidewalk, and the door comes out there. And I remember, because at that point, everybody reported here to the office. There was 10 of us or 6 of us or whatever there was.
Right.
And every morning I'd come in at 5 or 6 or whatever it was. And then at 6:30, I'd go out there. We'd talk about it. We'd direct the team members to where they were going. Because when they came here, there was no, here's tomorrow. There's no email schedule. There's nothing. It was literally, everybody was right there. You had a little conversation quick. All right, you and Joe go here. You guys go there. You're going to finish up that job. This is going to happen. That was the ability to connect with people. And as growing, and also just as our job scopes grew, our job locations grew, that's not feasible anymore. And so, as much as some of these tools aren't my favorites, they are allowing us to have some type of interaction on a more frequent basis than we ever had before.
yeah, for sure. I agree.
And it's funny. I think that is really the reason why a lot of times we get feedback that us talking about nothing is something people get a lot of value from on our team, is because we're just giving back the interaction that the growth has sort of taken away, or it hasn't taken away. That's not fair. It has changed who the conversation comes from, right? Because I don't want to do a disservice to any of our guys. Our foremen are out there and they're doing that every day. Like, okay, here's what we're going to do. You do this, you do that. But they're doing it on either a per job basis, or, maybe special projects. Is JD talking to all the guys, or Scott,
Number 5 for the day.
number 5 of the day, or Gary with landfill. You know what I mean? Like, even if we were running to, more than one crew, 2, 3, whatever the crews were running with those guys, Gary'd touch base. Even if he's at one job, he'd probably touch base with everybody and just say, hey, what's going on? And then Brad and Scott and Dylan would all have similar contact like that. So it still happens,
Right.
but we're not involved. And so I think, my hope is that this is a way that we can have sort of that relationship with the guys and with the team in whatever way suits them best, so that
Yeah.
we can, but this is supposed to be a two-way street, right? Because that's what I don't like about the video piece, not the video piece of it, but like the recorded piece of it, is it's very one directional. Like, I just talk at you. And I think that it's really important that they engage and they come back and they, email, text, call, whatever, make your own podcast and tell me to listen to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Here's
that I can
a
see it.
podcast that I recorded in response to your podcast.
That's,
So,
I guess I would listen to it. You just got to
Yeah.
figure out how I do it.
Podcast wars.
figure
Ooh,
out
podcast
out the
works.
channels, right? Find the venue. So, all right, that's probably enough of us talking about how we're old people adapting to new technology.
And Ford rides horses.
And Ford
So is
riding
Brian.
horses. Yeah. Yeah. And Dan jumping fences.
Perhaps we don't know.
Perhaps.
I have no idea.
Build the, categorize the memories.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us today. We hope that you got something from this. And
Might come back.
And maybe you'll come back and listen again. Thanks, folks.